today's lecture, we are going to discuss about green manuring. Myself, Dr. Sujit Jadhav, and I welcome to this YouTube channel, Let's Know the Botany, where you will get everything about plant sciences. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about these green manures. Green manures is nothing but it is green undecomposed material which is used as manure, and it has been obtained in two ways. The first one, that is by growing green manure crops, or the second one by collecting green leaf along with twigs from plants grown in wastelands, field burns and forests. Green manuring is growing in the field plants usually belonging to leguminous family and incorporating into the soil after sufficient growth. The plants that are grown for green manure, they are known as green manure crops. The most important crops are sun hemp, Diancia, Phylloxera, cluster beans and Sesbania rostrata. So this is the table where you can observe the nitrogen accumulation of green manure crops, which is, we can say, biomass production. So these are different plants like Sesbania is there, sun hemp is there, cowpea is there, cluster bean is there, Sesbania rostrata is there. They all are giving you, majoritarily they are giving more nitrogen, that is around about 133 or 134, that is above 100 you can get this particular nitrogen from whereas these plants, they are near about very small days plants. These are, their age is very small, that is near about 2 months. The nitrogen, the nutrient content of green manure crops as shown in the table, that is Crotalaria zancea, which gives you NPK in 2 as to 0.5 as to 1.8%. Then Diancia, that is Sesbania aculeata, gives you 3 as to 0.6 as to 1.2% of nutrient content, that is NPK content. And belonging to these particular ratios, one can say that Sesbania rostrata, which is a stem noduling green manure crop, which is a native of West Africa. As it is a short day plant and sensitive to photoperiod, the length of vegetative period is short when sown in August or September. So Baba Automatic Research Center from Bombay, they have developed one mutant, that is TSR1, which is insensitive to photoperiod, tolerant to salinity and water load conditions. Growth and nitrogen fixation is higher with TSR1 compared to the existing strains. Now, as far as these leguminous green manures they have been concerned, all plants, they need nitrogen in a significant amount. It has been noticed that in the organic fertilizers, there is often a deficiency of high dose of nitrogen. This is where green manures come to the rescue. Leguminous plants fix their nitrogen, therefore leaves, stems and roots of leguminous green manures are rich in nitrogen. These crops are grown in the farmland and are eventually plowed down and buried in the same soil when they are about to flower. Some examples of leguminous green manure crops like sun hemp is there, mung bean is there, black gram, cluster beans, pigeon peas, chickpeas, fenugreek, Greek peas, green peas, soybean, cowpeas. These are the examples of leguminous green manures which have been used by the farmers. Then there are some green leaf manures also. Only leaves of some leguminous trees are used as green manures instead of all plant parts. Leaves are collected from trees and are mixed in soil while they are still fresh. Green leaf manures steadily release nitrogen into the soil. Some of the examples of these plants where we use their green leaves instead of the plant parts like Gliricidia, Sesbania, Pongamia, Duquesna, These are some examples where we can use the leaves instead of the entire plant. And third part, that is cover crops. Mostly non-leguminous plants are grown to cover the whole farmland to control weeds and prevent soil erosion. Green manure cover crops act as a living mulch. Some of the examples of these living mulching crops or cover crops like brassica, millets, oats, radish, etc. So we will discuss now about benefits of green manures. The major benefits to the use of green manures in a crop rotation system include organic matter and nitrogen addition, nutrient conservation, and protection of the soil surface during erosion prone periods of the year. The organic matter and nitrogen addition, where the amount of organic matter that may accumulate through the decay of plant material by the addition of green manures may be considerable. 1 or 2 tons of dry matter per acre, that is 20 to 40 kg per 100 meters square, is not an unusual amount to be added. The organic matter added when young succulent plant tissue is incorporated into the soil encourages the microbial action of not only the heterotrophic microorganisms responsible for general organic matter decomposition, but also the free living organisms like Azotobacter, Clostridium, etc., which are able to fix atmospheric nitrogen. The organic residues from green manures also helps to stabilize the soil structure, increase the water holding capacity of the soil, and increase the infiltration of moisture into the soil and percolation through the soil. Agronomists have argued that green manuring will increase either the humus content or the supply of available nitrogen in the soil, but rarely both at the same time. The humus content is only increased appreciably if material fairly resistant to decomposition is added to the soil. The available nitrogen supply is only increased if readily decomposable material high in nitrogen, such as immature green plants, is incorporated into the soil. The amount of organic matter that may accumulate will vary with the soil, climatic conditions, and the age and type of crop. Nutrient and soil conservation, this is the major benefit of this particular green manure. The non-legume supplies of large amount of energy material readily, but the bacteria responsible for the decay of this material must have access to nitrogen. Not all of the plant material turned under becomes part of the soil humus. A large part is lost as carbon dioxide during decay. Under some conditions, as on sandy soils is very warm weather, the loss may be excessive, leaving no contribution at all to the soil humus. Generally, green manure crops are not as effective as farmyard or animal manure per unit of carbon in increasing the organic master content of the soil because of their greater decomposability. Then these particular green manures, they may add nutrients to the soil. Some green manure crops may utilize less available forms of phosphate and micronutrients than the main crop in the rotation. Hence, when they are plugged under, they may increase the availability of some nutrients for the subsequent crop. In addition, by decomposing rapidly, the plant residues liberate large quantities of carbon dioxide and weak acids, which act as insoluble soil minerals to release micronutrients for plant growth. The increase in the availability of phosphates in soils high in calcium is a good example of this effect. Since green manure crops are rarely fertilized, their value is strongly dependent on their ability to use available nutrients to the soil. And then another benefit of green manure, that is nutrient and soil conservation. These two other benefits of green manuring are closely related. Since green manure crops are often sown in the wet summer or fall after a primary crop, the green manure cover or catch crop utilizes excess fertilizer not taken up by the main crop. When these catch crops are incorporated into the soil the following spring rather than harvested, they not only protect the soil from erosion attributed to fall and early spring rains and water runoff, they also conserve nutrients which might have leached away or contributed to the contamination of streams and lakes. So this is all about green manuring. Thank you very much.